All right. We're back here on the J Talks Today's Relationship Show. And today we have on as a guest, well, let me start with my co-partner. All right, Miss Debbie, as y'all all know.
Glad to be back, Jay. What's going on with you?
All right, and sitting squeezed all up in between us, we have, Miss Mimi Fox.
Miss Mimi Fox. Miss Mimi.
How y'all doing? How y'all doing? It's good to see you again.
Yeah, Mimi Fox. Look at that little boxer today, too.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, okay. All right, so today we have this hot topic.
What we talking about, Jay?
What we talking about?
What we talking about?
You know, you just get to them points where you just say enough.
Yeah.
It's just enough. That's our topic. When is enough really meaning enough? I mean, you know, a lot of people be saying that's enough, but they ain't really meaning enough.
No, that's true.
Yeah, they ain't really meaning it. So what you think about that?
Enough when is enough. And I say enough is when you start saying that, when that's your statement, enough is enough. It's past that already.
That's right.
But when you done finally made the statement, enough is enough. In order for you to say that, you've gotten to a point to where you just had it up to here with everything that's going on. But Jay made a good point. A lot of times we say that, and that ain't really what we mean.
That's true.
So now you gotta, when you say enough is enough, you gotta believe that enough is enough.
Right.
And act on that thing. Don't just say it. When you say it, that means you done had it. That's it. I'm done.
That's it.
Is that what it means?
That's what it means.
Sometimes. Well, I know some people be playing.
But that's what I'm talking about, Jay. You know, if you gonna say it, you gonna get to that point to where you done slammed your hand down on something and say that's it. Then that means you about ready to do something about that thing that got you to the point that you saying enough is enough.
But what about them that say enough is enough? They leave the person, and then the next week, you know, baby, you know, I really didn't mean that. I didn't mean that. They done slammed it. They done broke the windows out of your car.
Yeah. Because they done said enough is enough, trying to get you to believe that they really mean that they ain't playing with you. They done had it. That's what they trying to do.
And then they back next week.
And they back next week. Yeah. But you know what we talking about, Sister Mimi? When is enough enough?
Well, for me, it's real simple.
Okay.
First of all, I'd have to define the type of relationship we're talking about.
Absolutely.
Because if you're looking at a marriage versus a friends with benefits situation, you got two totally different relationship types there, different criteria, and with a marriage, you're going to be a lot more tolerant because you're vested. If you're talking about a situation, friends with benefits, you know, say 2 to 6 months or whatever, you know, you're not really vested, you're not going to be all that tolerant. You know? And so you're going to be quicker to say, you know, this is not working. Enough with the nonsense or whatever. But you want to be flexible in a relationship. You want to give them a chance, maybe 2. If it's a short-term relationship, that's probably the only chance that you're going to get 1 or 2 before you say enough is enough. But like with all relationships come those struggles and challenges, and everybody's going to handle them different. For me, it's really just all nonsense that could be easily avoidable if you set the expectation at the door. Okay, so if during that 2 to 6 month relationship, you let someone know what's acceptable and what's not, you're not gonna have that stuff down the line.
That's true, Miss Mimi.
But you just gotta be able, you gotta mean it, you gotta own it, and you gotta be able to follow through and prepare to lose whatever it is. Because if ain't no consequence or repercussion, that behavior is not going to change. There's no motivation to change the negative behavior.
That's true.
So that's how I look at it.
That's true, Miss Mimi. That's right.
You
said that, girl.
Trust me, I'm living it
You
through.
said that. You
I'm
said
living
that.
it too.
Okay.
Now you said something at the beginning. Depends on what kind of relationship,
Yeah,
or,
yeah, it
or
depends on what
you know,
relationship it is.
being renewed. Well, you know, here on this show, everything is really a relationship. I mean, you know, couple, boyfriend, girlfriend, my food, business, family, best friend. You know, all that's a relationship, and I think really we can find a point sometimes in our lives that we can, even with now what's going on with the government. You know, we're finding that, and I'm not condoning this. I'm really not condoning this, but the African American community seems to now lash out, and I would say probably, I'm not saying the whole community, I'm saying there are those in the community, but because it may be one or two individuals, it seems like the media and the press wants to make it look like it's everybody, you know, it's a whole community lashing up. You know, we're having these cop killings and all this, and really any killing is too much. Yeah, it's too, it's, you know. However, we hear the Black Lives Matter and the community of the African Americans saying that enough is enough. That you know, the handling, the governmental and law enforcement handling of the African community has gone over its limits, and the abuse. That's not meaning all the cops are bad.
Right. Of
course
you
not.
know, no. But however, it does make the view tarnished to the good people, just the same way that, you know, one or two people just killed these cops just a little while ago.
Yes.
It tend to focus, you know, or bring focus to the black community. You know, it has everybody on panic right now.
Yeah.
You know,
yes.
you know, is a riot gonna break out? You know, because of the few bad cops that brought the community to saying, "Hey, enough is enough."
Right.
You know, so you know,
Yes.
when is enough really just enough?
Yeah. And I think, Jay, when it gets to the point where it starts to become more of a disadvantage than an advantage. And what I mean by that is that, what are you dealing with? How is it manifesting itself in you? You know, so when we talk about relationships overall, whether it's a husband and a wife, boyfriend and girlfriend or whatever, is that thing affecting you so much to the point physically, to not only that you say enough is enough, but that it starts manifesting itself in your health.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Well, that's beyond.
Yeah, yes.
You done went too far.
Yes, you know, right, you have in your health, or you get angry and you do something that you're gonna, regret later.
Right.
You know, so then you have to start looking at it along that line. And you made a good point, Miss Mimi, as I was saying, you know, before it get to that, because you don't never know how you're going to respond to something, later on down the line. But before you get to it, it's best to just, nip that thing in the bud right then and there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's here with the recent cop shootings, the two gentlemen, Austin Silvers and
Sterling. Austin Sterling.
And the other gentleman.
Yes.
And there's videos on both of those. And I've had several people come to me and say, have you looked? Have you watched? It's been on Facebook. It was live streamed. This, that, and the other. No, I haven't. Well, you got to see it. You got to see it. No, I don't. And I'm going to tell you why. Like I mentioned, I'm starting a new job.
Yeah.
Tomorrow. And it's a really good job. It's a really great company. And I don't want the angry black woman to show up every morning for me. Because I remember how I felt when Trayvon Martin was gunned down by George Zimmerman. And the angry black woman showed up at work. And I wasn't very nice. And I allowed those emotions and feelings. Because I have a son who is a few years older, but not very many years older than Trayvon was at his death. And it hit me hard, and it just really personal. Yeah. And I allowed it to affect me and how I communicated and dealt with people.
Yes.
Right at that point, people that had nothing to do with what George Zimmerman did. But you get to a point, and then sometimes you're past that. Enough is enough point where I was.
Absolutely.
So I had to learn from that experience, and this time I said, you know what? I'm not gonna. I don't have to see it to feel the agony and the pain and the just being so upset about the fact that this is still going on. I don't have to watch it, to have those feelings and be fed up with the situation. Just knowing that it happened,
it's enough.
It's more than it's beyond
it's
enough.
More than enough.
It's beyond enough. It's beyond enough.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah, to be able to contain. And sometimes we find ourselves not so much just even looking at the other person saying, enough is just enough. Sometimes we find issues with our own selves where we might be a procrastinator or something like that, and you just like, self, this is enough. I done had it out with my own self, and I'm tired of just being this way, and I hope this is not sensitive to anybody, but just talking when I'm just talking, But some people say, they say, well, I've had enough of being overweight. I got to do something about it. But they don't do nothing about it.
Right.
Then they come back and say, I done had enough. It shows when is enough really enough, really enough. And when they just still don't do nothing about it. And then finally they get to that point. I don't know what got them there. Maybe it might have been a comment sometime, maybe the clothes that they really, really like ain't fitting or something, but then they get to that breaking point and enough finally just came to enough. I'm just using that as an example. I mean, there's several things. It could be procrastination. They could be caught up on alcohol or, or drug, addiction. But sometimes we have self-contained issues where the drama, it's our own drama. Don't take nobody else in, to be part of it.
That's right.
And we get to a point where we're fed up. And I think, just as you were saying, Miss Mimi, is that, when you said set some boundaries, set some limitations, I think that also could apply to self. If self really doesn't really set those boundaries for themselves, for within, and actually hold self accountable to that. Yeah, you have to be disciplined, just like you would hold somebody else to be accountable. That if you made enough won't ever reach the table. You just be talking.
Yeah. And I was reminded, it's a movie entitled that, Enough, with Jennifer Lopez, where she married this guy and he had been abusing her. He started off being this knight in shining armor, and then did the flip flop on her, and started abusing her. And she, he was just blatantly abusing her, physically, mentally, everything, And so she got to the point finally that enough was enough, and she took those actions into her own hands. And if you ever seen the movie, I don't want to spoil it in case somebody want to see it, but she did what she did, and he ended up, his life was taken, right? But that's what we were talking about earlier at the beginning of the show. Before it get to that point, you have to set those boundaries and not, because you don't know, you get on the tail end of that thing, and you've been Snap. I mean, it's a show on now called Snap.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Which I watch every chance I get, girl.
Okay. Snap. And so so yeah. I mean, even though we making a little light of it, it's not a light subject because I mean, there's been many cases, of people that have gotten overextended in that and have done just that, snaps.
Right.
Yeah, so.
So I mean, and I heard about the boundaries and stuff, but what would you all's advice be going forward? I mean, as to uh, making moves. I mean, can we really make good decisions or moves toward an issue or a situation by waiting till we get to that point?
I don't think so. I think that I'm back to talking about a relationship between a man and a woman.
Okay.
Okay. This is my favorite. In the beginning, it is so crucial and critical to set the expectation of what is acceptable and what is not. And I mean, I can say it 5 times. If you do that and stick to it, either that person is going to fall in line and everything will be all right, or they're going to get out of line.
Right.
Somebody else will have that chance. See what I'm saying? And it's not, you can't do it, 6 months or 2 years into a relationship, because if you see that negative behavior rearing its ugly head, and you tolerate it, and you see it a second time and a third time, and you keep tolerating it, what you're actually doing is setting the expectation that that's acceptable.
Absolutely.
And then there's no motivation for them to ever change. I can't tell you how many times I have had that conversation with the young people. And it's just so crucial in the early stages. Let's just put it out there. Hey, we can make this easy or we can make this complicated. But if you don't do it in the beginning, it won't work.
Yeah.
Because you can't go backwards.
You can't go
A
backwards.
year into the relationship and start making these changes. Well, this is unacceptable. Well, he's going to know you're bluffing because you put up with it all this time.
Absolutely.
You're not going nowhere.
Absolutely.
There has to be consequences and repercussions.
Okay.
Those 2 friends that we all know. Right now.
Consequences and repercussions.
That's right.
Consequences and
It's a negative behavior.
That's true. That's true, Miss Mimi. And so when you look at that, as to setting those boundaries early on, so I mean you're in a win-win situation, and that's for anybody, whether it's the man or the woman.
That's correct.
You're in a win-win situation because, like you said, now either they're gonna say, okay, well, I know I'm not gonna be able to get away with this, and so that gives them the opportunity to say, well, it's not for me because I'm used to being this way, and it's just who I am, and things like that. And then then you have some people that will expect you to accept them like that. But then that's on you for you to make the decision as to whether you're gonna go for that thing or if you're not.
That's it exactly. And that kind of touches on another little issue when people make decisions for you by not disclosing what your options are. When 2 people come together, you sit down, you say what's your intention, this, that, the other. That allows you the option of saying, yeah, this is for me, or no, this isn't. But when people keep secrets, and don't say, what their real truth is, it creates a platform for what we just got finished talking about.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, okay, yeah, all right, y'all own it.
Are we on it?
Yeah, y'all own it. Yeah, y'all own it. Me and Miss Debbie.
Hey.
All
So
right.
enough. When is enough, Jeff? Jay.
Give us
When
a
is
male
enough?
perspective.
Yes,
give us
yes,
a male
yes.
perspective
All right.
on that.
Yes.
Okay. Male perspective. All right. I have a couple of outlines. Let me.
Okay.
Enough is enough when, if you're a female, I'm gonna do a male and female.
Okay.
If you're a female and the guy calls you the B word and said he playing.
Okay.
All right.
Never mind. Say that on here.
Okay.
Because that's so inappropriate.
So inappropriate.
Yeah. But
okay.
okay.
All right, Jay. All right. We're going to come back to that one in a minute because go ahead.
Enough is enough when you done cooked a good meal and they slap you and they use the phrase, that's so good I can slap my mama, but I'm going to slap you.
Okay.
They gonna try to get away with it by using one of them, traditional phrases, right? But all the time, what they really want to do is slap you in the birthplace. I'm just saying an example. I'm just saying as an example.
Okay.
All right. Enough is enough when you get caught cheating and you say it wasn't me. It ain't what it looked like.
It ain't what that's my favorite one right there. Baby.
It ain't what it looked like.
Okay.
Like I can't.
Yeah, it ain't what it looked like.
Mm-hmm. And some people will convince you that what you saw
wasn't what you saw.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
You know it's enough.
Yeah. Enough is enough.
Jesus.
When you done went to church and the preacher comes out and they done took up 5 offerings. I'd be like, how many offers you really got to take up? I thought I gave about 10% on the first one.
I have been blessed so much lately. I can keep my mouth shut.
Okay.
I know you could give above and beyond. I'm going to elaborate on that just a little bit. But really, I'm keeping this real. And I really do want to keep this real. All right. Y'all know I ain't scared to talk about religion at all. There are some religious establishments that will try their best to milk every single cent out of your pocket. All right. And it's not that you're not giving. All right. That you're not giving. But above that, if it wasn't really in your heart, okay, really in your heart, you're giving, even if you put it in, all 5 offerings, or all 5 passings, then that's really giving it in vain, okay? And sometimes some religious organizations pressure people, and that's not the right way of the Lord in receiving the collections of those monetary, givings. Because what the Lord really wants is for you to give it freely and happily. It says giving it happily and joyous, and but when you actually feeling like you being pressured, you being manipulated about it, and there are, I'm just keeping it real now, there are some, I'm not saying all churches, don't care, don't profile all churches that they're like this. That's you start profiling people and things and places, then that's you're in the wrong actually, because but the truth is there are some religious establishments that do that.
You want to ask you a question?
Yeah.
So is enough at plate number 3 or plate number 4? Which offering is it?
Which offering is it? Plate number 3 or plate number 4?
Well, I'm not going to go too deep in biblical teaching. Biblical teaching does make it very clear that it's not supposed to take all that. Okay, it's not supposed to take all that. Biblical teaching really teaches that I really like as 2 offerings, one being tithe and one being your general offering. If the people are not giving they're not giving, for you to pressure, and we're not supposed to beg. Not supposed to beg them, because God He hasn't begged us. He doesn't beg us to do anything. He gives us a choice, like you said. He set down some guidelines, like you were talking, boundaries, and we either meet them or we don't. And like you said, consequences and repercussions. Two good friends.
That's right.
Yeah, two good friends. Yes.
Well, they can be good friends if you ain't doing what you're supposed to do.
Right. So, but we find a lot of religious, I won't say a lot, but we find some religious establishments that do things contradictory to what biblical standards really refer us to do. And that's one of the reasons I said that.
I mean, well, I'm on that because I got a problem with an institution of God, can I say that? Having ATMs in the lobby.
What?
Or in the church.
Oh, yeah.
What?
ATM.
What? I have never heard of such.
Yeah.
Oh.
Really?
Oh no.
Miss
Yeah.
Mimi?
Oh yeah.
Miss Me.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
It's even got worse than that. It's even got worse than that. There are some, and I'm not gonna call the names of them, but there is a rise. They're moving from well, now I won't say from. They're still there, but they're increasing went to another level besides the ATM machine. Now what they're doing, they're requiring for the members to list their checking account number.
Wow.
Seriously, their checking account number. I wish I had Ricky.
Yeah.
But their checking account number, their social security numbers.
They want your
they want
W-2, tax forms.
Yes.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Doing automatic drafts of your checking account. I'm
now.
not joking. I'm not playing. I'm not playing.
No way.
Jay is not lying. This is not an exaggeration.
Okay,
this is not just
one of
exaggeration.
you are going to pick me up on a Sunday and take me to a church where there's an ATM in the lobby. I've got to see it for myself, and I'm going to post a picture on Facebook. You've got to be kidding me.
That is true, folks. You can always go on the internet. You'll find it. Just say churches. Type in your Google.
Yes.
Churches that have ATM machines.
Yes. Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And you'll find
it's
some.
beyond enough is enough. Because it just brings to me this burning question. Well, it's not really a question. It's a feeling that I have that I've shared with 2 or 3 people, and they don't necessarily agree. So let me get you guys' take on it. You might be more acquainted with the word than I am in this regard. I know we're supposed to give 10%. That's what the Lord says. That's what the word says. Does it say that you have to give that 10% all in the same place?
No. See, that's another teaching. You're right. There's another teaching.
Because I like to spread the wealth.
I'm totally with you on that. That is.
If I come into a large sum of money and I give my 10%, I may not want it all to go to this particular church. I may want it to go to this one, and some little ones over in a foreign country. And I want to know, is that still considered me give my 10% if I spread it out?
Now, that is true. It doesn't say that. However, there is something that is to be considered, that where you become a member of a fellowship, and a lot of people get, and I don't like to say churches because people still don't have that definition, understanding what a church is. Church is yourself. It's yourself.
That's right.
The building is not.
Right,
Really, it has the name, it has the word church on it, but people tend to think, well, I'm not in church until I step into the brick building, and they have that misperception. That's actually the fellowship. All right. So when you become a member of a fellowship, that you are to support the fellowship that you become a member of, and one of those in support. Because when you it's just like anything you become a member of or join, what you are, whether you say it out of your mouth or not, what your motion statement is saying is that you believe in what you are becoming a part of enough to bring your part of your life into it.
Yes.
So you're agreeing with that, and so it refers to support that you agree to. So if you're a member and you not giving any of your 10%, you giving 10% to religious organizations and all that, but it's not going to what you are part of, then that's not really a good.
Yes. If they're not getting any of it, if they're not getting all of it, they're not getting a part of it. They should get at least something. They
I
mean that's the way I see it. I just it's often something in the back of my mind.
Right. But these days now, it's been prophesied. That's what the religious organization is going to do. How they're going to be in these days. However, enough is enough. All right.
You put an ATM in the lobby.
Yeah, when you say ATM in the lobby. When you want to see my W-2.
That's enough.
When you want to put me out the church because I ain't making enough money for you.
That's enough.
That's enough.
I could go on.
I'm really sitting here.
I could really go on and on and on.
Yes.
Because you just hit on something, Miss Debbie. I mean, when you said put you out of church, they even had some religious organizations where you have some pastors who think they're so big. I'm not gonna call no name. I have the facts though. Who will if they don't see your record of paying tax, you can't. You have a pastoral concern. You need to see the pastor. You will never see them. You won't get an appointment with them. No, you will not. You have to be. And there are some that if you ain't paying a certain level of monies into the church, you will not get to see them.
Well, those churches are churches that you shouldn't be going to anyways, because if they're putting a dollar value on how they minister to people, then they're not ministering the word of God to begin with.
Well, I said no.
Yeah, it actually was a case. This was a few months ago, several months ago. It was a case where somewhere around the Georgia area, Atlanta area, an older church member, she was like 80, 90 some years old, had been a member of that church all her days, just about. Of course, sometimes churches, pastors come, that's, for whatever reason, whether it's pastor gone on or they moved or whatever. But this older lady, she had got to the point, and the family was explaining this, that she just didn't have enough money at that time to continue to pay. Had been an avid, faithful tithe-payer. She didn't have enough money at that time to continue to be faithful in paying her tithes. Recently.
Yeah.
And do you know that she died, and the preacher, the pastor, at that time, would not do her funeral because she had not paid her tithes. And that was the biggest thing, and I was like, this is unbelievable. Would not do her funeral, would not eulogize her because she did not pay her tithes. Yes.
Well, look who just popped up in the studio. Mr. Ricky Rick. Mr. Ricky Rick. Ricky Rick. I'm sure you can shed a little light on this one. I was just brought it up about these churches that want to see your credit report, want to get your check in them.
ATMs in the lobby. I've never heard of that before.
Oh, yes. It's getting crazy. It's getting crazy out there.
Yeah, I probably could, Jay, because you know what? You said it, when it's enough, it's enough. Well, when it's enough, too much, when you can't rely on somebody's faith and their trust in what they're wanting to do for God in the church. That's supposed to be an act of kindness and appreciation to God for giving us life and just giving us a son, forgive us for our sins. But now it's not enough to receive from your people that they're going to do that faithfully. Now they have to make sure they put something in your face to ensure that you do it faithfully. So they put these teller machines in. You know. I know some churches want to see your tax return to see how much money you make.
Yes.
You know, so they make sure that you're giving 10%.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah.
Some people want a quarterly report of your earnings, your investment. I guess enough would be enough once they realize, once someone out there in our listening ear, our audience, realize that enough is not enough, because it doesn't matter how much money the church raise, it's not going to save you.
That's right.
It's not going to save you.
It's not going to save you.
Yeah, that doesn't save you.
Well, well, a lot of them might, you know, like I've heard people who attend some of these religious establishments, they be complaining, but enough just ain't got enough, because they still there. They still there. So, you know, like we said, when is enough really enough? I mean,
when they die.
I guess so. I mean, you know, we learn, I mean, but truth be told.
Because that's not going to stop until the person that's doing that dies. And then the next person that's beside them doing it, that person has to die. Because, see, they have this false understanding of what it is to honor God and to get to heaven. And as long as they're under that false precept or concept, then enough is never going to be enough until they die.
Absolutely. So when you talk about, when you look at the religious establishment, the churches, you know, nowadays that have conformed, you know, to that, and Rick, you made a good point as to say, you know, that's going to keep on going, because you got people that's got that in their hearts, you know, to keep it going, and then you got those that are being, you know, led into that, you know, whether, I mean, because it's like first time, shame on you, second time, shame on me. So that's pretty much what we're talking about. When is enough enough? Why, you know, how can you keep going forward in this and knowing, you know, I mean, because it's bad now. I mean, not only, you know, we're talking about, you know, they want to see your W-2s, a quarterly report, that type of thing. People are losing their homes.
Yes, for the church.
For the church.
Yeah.
Losing their homes. Everything they have is being, you know, is because they giving it away.
Everything's
You
been
know.
liquidated for the sake of the
Yes.
church.
Yes.
Not for Christ, not for God, because God doesn't acknowledge money. You know?
Well, you know, I know we got a bunch of different areas we're talking about. I know we're on religion right now, but I'm going to throw this in there. We have, you know, just like cops or people, because that's what everybody are, they're people. But, you know, you can't say just because a few cops are bad that the whole police force is bad.
Right.
You can't say because you have a few little gangs in a African American, you know, probably predominantly African American area, that all the blacks, that's just, you know, a bad area because you guys got a few bad people. So the same thing goes with this, and I'm just speaking of just the bad ones, okay? Just the bad ones. But I'm amazed that many religious establishments don't say that enough was enough when their pastor has been caught, officially proven in some sexual offense, you know, like, you know, molestation of a mind, especially of a mind. I mean, I'm reminded of this church down in Jacksonville, Tennessee. I'm not gonna say it, but y'all can look, y'all can Google, find out what it is. But the case with that, if y'all don't know about it, is that the pastor was convicted of having sexual engagement with two minors, and went to jail. Only served like 12 years. Yeah, 12 years. This church was losing its members. Pretty good sized church, okay? Losing its members. This particular preacher could hoop and holler. Some people just like a hooper
Yeah.
and just want to get for and what they be screaming and shouting about. I don't know.
I'm with
Some
you
of
on
these
that.
hoopers don't see saying
Yeah.
that. You know, they'll say, "Hey God," you know,
They say something in the Bible about not to do that.
And so, but that they wanted this convicted.
Yeah.
It's a felony. Convicted felon, child molester, who's on the list now. Okay, to be able to get him, they wanted him so bad. Out of all the possible people they could probably get, you know, I mean, they breeding preachers looking for the pastor of church everywhere.
Yeah.
All right, coming out of these seminaries, but they wanted this particular one so bad that they banned the kids from the church.
Wow.
Because he could not be around kids.
Get out of here.
So they banned. These are their own kids.
Wow.
They left the kids at home to take in this man to be their pastor.
Wow.
Only in Tennessee.
It wasn't Tennessee. It was in Jacksonville.
Jacksonville.
Down in Florida. Yeah, down in
Anywhere.
Oh
Florida.
my goodness.
But I'm saying, I mean,
Wow.
really, that wasn't enough. I mean,
Yes.
I mean, it's that bad out there that when we asking the question, when is enough really enough? And to a lot of people, enough don't seem to be. Don't seem to come to a reality somewhere.
Yeah.
I can't even find a word for that. That's
appalling.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
it's not even just in couples like we were talking. You know, woman getting beat down all the time.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm gonna tell you, me personally, I'm not a woman, but I'm just looking at it. I would say the first hit was enough.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Why go back for another one?
Yeah.
Yes.
But
there that goes back to what I said about setting the expectation. Because the first time that happened, 3 little digits, or click, one of the two.
Yeah,
You set the expectation, let them know this is unacceptable behavior, and you're not going to tolerate it.
Right. You think that's because a lot of people don't know what they want to be able to set expectations?
Well, when you if you talking about the incident we just talked about, the case about a woman being abused, you have to think of the mindset. You have to look into the mindset of the woman. That's true at this point, because you have some women that like that.
They want a thug.
They want a thug.
I want a bad boy.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? They have. I mean, it's. If he don't hit me, he don't love me. I've had girlfriends, relatives, cousins to say that. Oh, if he don't hit me, he don't love me.
Oh my God, I have heard that before.
So, and then once it starts, but you don't know the consequences of that thing when it starts. And so, and I think I spoke on this probably a few weeks ago. I have a girlfriend now that had that same mentality. Well, she's deaf in one ear now, and she's partially blind in one eye.
Wow.
And because in the beginning, that was her. The words that she spoke was, "I don't want a nice guy. I don't want a guy like that because I'm gonna run over him.
Right.
I want a roughneck.
Yeah.
I want somebody that's gonna bounce me off the walls from time to time." These were her words out of her mouth.
Wow.
So that's what she got.
Okay. Consequences and repercustions.
And the consequences
got to deal with every day now.
Every day now.
Deafness and the blind.
Absolutely.
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 Right.
So, when is enough? I'm like you, Sister Mimi, but you see the signs before then. See, here we go. You see the signs of stuff like that before it actually get to the physical part. You see the sign, you see the anger, you see, him fly off or hurt, because there are some women that like that too. But when we talk about, like, when you think about abuse, most part you think, okay, the man is the one that's doing the abuse.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it
not
don't
always the
happen.
case.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that's always the case, but I'm saying for the most part. So you see the signs before you actually see the physical. Whether it's anger, whether him throwing stuff, breaking it, and so that's enough right there. Once you see that sign before it gets to the physical, that's enough for me.
Well, what they won't say, and they've done studies, and I've seen a report on it. It was televised that, and I'm going to speak in reference to man now, what men get caught up in and what happens to the woman. But they found out that before the man actually ever hits a woman, there was mental abuse to him before it even started. There was little things done, egging on, insinuations being said, falsely accused. So they said in most cases, it may be 5 years before the man hit the woman for something she started 5 years ago and just kept building up. Like you said, that's what the ones who want to be hit. They will purposely build up a rapport to aggravate you, to upset you, to get you to hit them, And so they said they start looking at these abuse cases different now. They said, instead of saying the man shouldn't hit a woman, they're saying that sometimes the man is so distraught and broken down that we can't really say that he's even thinking as a man when that happens. Maybe he just starts thinking about defending himself from the mental abuse. And they said now mental abuse is worse than the physical abuse.
Oh, he's now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, that's for
now.
those. Okay, because it's
Yeah.
always an
Some
exception to the rule. Okay,
But
I'm talking about the ones that just, that's because that's who they are.
Yeah.
That's what they used to. They didn't see uncles, daddy, and all them.
Yeah.
It done came up with them. They grew up with it from little boys, and that's what they see. So that's what they feel, they're supposed to do as a man.
Yeah. Because that's what they grew up seeing.
Yes.
The mother accepted and allowed it, so he feels like the woman he with should. But in most cases, the man that does that usually find the woman that accepts that. Because it's just like, you ever notice when you get in a relationship that you always get the opposite of what you really want? But then people start trying to tell you opposite attract. Right. You don't want somebody like you. You'll get tired of each other. They lie to us. Yes, you do want somebody like you. You want somebody nice and kind of gentle. You don't want a thug. But the world brainwashes us to believe we want that opposite. Because they say opposites attract, don't they, Jay? So they brainwash us to think that that opposite attracts.
I just have a comment. You brought up a point that I want to touch on because it affected me personally.
Okay.
As I was growing up, there was domestic violence in my home, and more than once. I won't say frequently, but way too often. And you were saying that when you see that behavior as a child, and it's learned behavior, those children sometimes let it carry over into their adult lives, and and that is true. It's typically the case, but there are some exceptions to the rule. Right. Whereas in my particular situation, seeing that was enough for me. That was my enough was enough.
Yes.
And the very first time a man ever rose a hand to me was the last time.
That was it. Yeah.
Unacceptable.
Yeah.
It ain't going down that way.
I'm running the other way.
Anybody know me?
Yeah.
You know that.
Yeah.
You're gonna run another
because
way.
I saw it, I lived with it, and that was it. That was my enough point. Just watching that.
Yeah.
We had a show once, and it was a different cast, and a caller called in and asked Sister Soldier about getting in a relationship with somebody that was already enslaved. Remember? He was enslaved to another relationship. So he brought that slave mentality over into the relationship with this girl. And she didn't know how to deal with it because she wasn't like that. But she knew his past girlfriend. And he said she enslaved him, chastised him, belittled him, almost was like a mother figure to him. Well, when she got with him, she wasn't like that. But he was so used to having that enslaved mentality on him, he couldn't get out of it. So she was like, well, what should I do? Should I break up with him? It wasn't an abusive thing. It was just he wanted to be controlled. and told what to do.
Okay.
And, you know, and she was like, no, I want him to think, or I want him to do this.
Right.
But he brought that slavery
Yeah.
mentality into the relationship with her. And she recognized it. And she wanted to know what to do about it. So there are all kinds of things that happens in our life that are character traits that once you see it, especially if you're not used to it, you're not accustomed to it.
Right.
You know, it's like me. There's not too many people can deal with me.
I believe that, Rick. I don't know why I do, but I just really believe that.
I'm something else. And I'm not bragging, but I'm just saying. But I say, even to my wife today, I told you what you was getting into when you said I
Oh, did you, Rick?
Yeah.
I'm going to have to ask her now. You know I'm going to ask her.
She'll tell you.
There's a disclaimer. There's a disclaimer on the marriage certificate.
Right.
Put in them
Disclaimers,
disclaimers, put some disclaimers in.
Okay.
And I said, when she met me, I was we've been here 5 years, so I was 51. I said, you're going to marry me when I'm 51. Don't think you can change 51 years of me. It ain't going to happen. And I can't change it in you. So if we're going to get married, we got to get married on faith. So for me and her, every day it's a challenge. It's an adventure. But we understood that coming in.
Okay.
So I think when it's enough going to be enough is when people start doing what Jay says all the time. You know the signs. You see it coming. Why do you keep accepting it? And then why do you let people lie to you? Oh, I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. And that's why I'm doing. That's the biggest lie. You know. So I think until we, as people, even church-going people, accept that, you know, I'm not going to accept this. I'm not going to let you do this to me, and speak it. Then that's when enough will become enough. But and now I'll stop after this because Jay have told me some very provoking and thought process and things in my life that I've used and have helped me. And he said, most people in a relationship already know spiritually that it's over before it's over in the flesh. You already know. So why do you hang on? You already know. You tell yourself, this is it. I can't take this. Oh, I love you. That's okay. It's all right. But you know spiritually it's over. And it made so much sense to me when he said it. You know it's over spiritually. But you still in the flesh trying to hold on to it because you're worrying about what you're going to say about me or what you're going to say. So we go through this mental abuse worrying about what our father, our dad, our mom, our mothers, our grandmothers, our children, our friends going to say about us. So we take this mental abuse because we're not concerned about how it's affecting us.
Right.
We're afraid about what you're going to say about us. So,
that's right.
I mean, we know.
People live their lives like that.
Yeah, we do.
All the time. I mean,
so
it's more than what
sad.
you know. You know. I mean, my last, I guess, final point is, but you got to say what you mean and mean what you say.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's what it is, girlfriend. Say what you mean what you
Yes.
say.
Mean it when you say it. Mean it. If you don't mean it,
just kind of piggybacking off of Rick. Yeah, you both of y'all, like you'll say, people do live their lives like that. Even, believe it or not, folk, in the religious field, and I guess, you know, I bring up religion so much because we're not a religious show, but I hit on that so much because if anybody should be, I say should, that's not that meaning that they are, should be more on key with noticing signs of being awake is people in the religious. The reason I say that, the reason I say that, because the reason I say that is because you hear, you know, in these many sermons, depending on how long you've been going to the church, and if you have a shepherd that's even teaching you,
that's true.
But if they are, you hear in their messages things that should prompt you, that doesn't mean that they are, should prompt you to not be, well, the key word is called ignorant. It's called ignorant.
Paul said.
And, you know, and what you were saying and what you all were commenting on there are even pastors and wives or ministers and wives who, like you were saying, they just in a house. We hear all the phrase. You have body present, but just the body is there. But as far as in love and togetherness, it's way far apart. And but they just. Matter of fact, I just ran into a couple yesterday, and I wasn't surprised. I was a little surprised to find out that that's how they were living, because I always thought that they were close. I did, because what happens in the house, behind closed doors. People put on the fake,
right.
But I came to find out, they had been married for 40 years. The last 22 years, they've been living in separate bedrooms.
Wow.
The last 22 years, she has her bedroom and he has his.
Wow.
In the same house.
Same house.
Separate bedrooms.
Right.
Separate bedrooms.
Wow.
And and like I said, you have husband, preachers and them wives, and they don't get at it, because the first thing was be like, well, what the congregation gonna think?
Yeah.
Well, what here I am. I'm preaching and teaching about the family got to stay together.
Yeah.
But yours is a total mess.
But you know what? Let me say
total
this.
mess.
That's right.
Y'all remember it was a movie called The War of the Roses.
Yeah.
Yes.
War of Roses. It was yes. What's her name?
Her name is Kathy. It's Kathy
and Michael Douglas. Michael Douglas was her
Kathleen Turner.
Kathleen Turner and Michael Douglas. And then it was borderline.
Yeah.
It was it was the same scenario. And they didn't like each other. They found they was gonna get a divorce, but neither one of them wanted to leave the house.
Right.
So what they were doing was plotting to kill each other at every time. Literally, plotting to kill each other at every turn.
Yeah.
I mean, and they was doing it big too. They was doing they was doing stuff that cut to the cut to the heart. It's a funny movie, but true.
Yeah.
And so my question is, how could you, or why, and knowing spiritually you are dying, you are dead.
That's good. The way you said
you
it.
know what I'm saying? How could you continue? Because it ain't nothing left for you to do but kill them.
Yeah. Because you can't stand each other.
Spiritually you dead. You can't stand each other. I see you come around the corner, I roll my eyes so heavy, they stuck back here. I'm blooding, I'm putting arsenic and cyanide and all this. You sick and you don't even know why, but I do.
Yeah.
Just call it enough and get out.
You watch Snap.
Come on. You gotta say.
I don't want to see you
because see the fact of the matter is, Rick, and this is what this is the point I'm gonna make. About that. Yes, we wanna have a life that we want, that we love, that we cherish, but a lot of times it don't turn out that way in a marriage, in a relationship. So what do? Do you stay here and wind up going to jail for the rest of your life because you hate them just that much? You don't want to see them live, and you feel the earth is better off without them. So you do something to get yourself, locked away forever, or do you leave? Do you stay there in that? But it's proven, from what Jay is saying, that people live lives like that. I personally don't choose to live a life like that. If it's done and over, it's done and over.
That's it, that's all.
Yeah, but a lot of times you can't forecast what your next relationship going to be, because you got to think in a relationship. Let's go back to saying enough's enough, because this is a show on relationships. And when I came in, we was talking about the ATM, the churches, and tithing. But I'm gonna get back to the title and what we focus on in the show, the relationships. In a relationship, I can carry my traits into another relationship that'll probably make that relationship just as bad. And I go to relationship and relationship. it's only going to get good until I decide to change me. Because I can blame the other woman, but until I change me, I can carry the same thing to another woman that ain't nothing like that woman.
Yes.
And I can keep saying it's them, but it's me.
Yes, yes, that's true.
So I think that you have to work on you instead of trying to work on the person you're trying to be with.
That's true, Rick. Okay, but now what about those that feel that it's not them, but it's everybody else?
Then they need to be alone.
It's not them.
A celibate
it's
life
everybody else.
and be alone. They need to be celibate and they need to be alone. I'm sorry.
If you wasn't like this, then I wouldn't be this way. If it wasn't for you, Rick.
I was just going to comment and say
what you got, BB?
that personally, I think being self-aware is at the forefront. It's the key. It's the first step.
Absolutely.
You have to know self. You have to be true to self. But you have to know yourself inside out. It's the good, the bad, and the ugly.
That's right.
Embrace it. And if there's something you don't want to embrace, make the change.
Yes, absolutely.
And if you don't have all this house in order, ain't no other house you walk into.
Right. That's right, Sister Mimi.
Because you're going to curb that disorder.
Yeah,
you're going to take it out.
Yeah, that's right.
You're going to tear it out there.
That's right.
And ain't going to be no houses there.
Yeah, that's right.
I like, you're going to tear it down. You're going to tear it down.
Y'all just heard it from May. May Fox.
She got fired up.
Absolutely.
We already fired up.
Yeah.
All right. Well, all right. I'm gonna let y'all go around. Who want to start off first? Give them their closing.
I done had enough, Jay.
You done had enough.
I'm done.
Well, enough is enough for you. All right, but all right. Rick, you got anything to say?
I just like to close saying that I hope that the topics that we share on this show, that every one of our listeners out there know that we're sincere. We tell you factual and true things that occur in our life. We care about you and your life. That's why we share about our life and our experiences. And we don't try to sugarcoat anything. So I hope that each and every time you listen into us that you know we're for real. And we're trying to impact your life in some kind of way, sharing true and thoughtful, meaningful things that occur in relationships. And I just hope y'all continue to tune into us, and may we be a blessing to you all.
Yes, indeed. Well, in closing,
first
I want to say, Jay, to Ricky, and to Debbie, thank you all for allowing me to be here.
Glad to have you back. Not the first time.
It's always truly a pleasure. My closing comments, I would just reiterate to everyone about enough is enough is first, yes, know yourself. Okay, know yourself inside outwards. And secondly, set expectations early on. If you set those expectations, allow there to be consequences and repercussions to negative behavior so that it's not reinforced. The rest should fall into place.
All right.
So I'm going to leave everybody
That's
with that.
awesome. That's what I said.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. You care to tell anybody about what you're doing? What you got going on?
Well, actually, if you want me to,
go ahead. Tell.
This is the time.
Okay. Well, some may know that I am writing a book. It is called Finding 50.
All right.
It is about it's about 4 beautiful women, and turning 50 is basically it's like a rite of passage.
Yeah.
We were raised to believe that.
Yeah.
And when you turn 50, you've got it all together.
Yeah.
But let's be real.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
Nowadays,
right.
a lot of people don't have it together.
That's right.
Or they think they do, and something can happen in lives to bring them back down and realize, wow, I really don't, not as together as I thought I was. And so this book is about those relationships of those 4 women and embracing that. Each of them having that Finding 50 moment when they realize, this is what's been wrong in my life.
Wow.
I know what I got to do to fix it, and they fix it, and they find their happiness.
Beautiful.
And so it is a book about that.
So it's going to have a good ending, good outcome.
Yeah.
That's good.
Right.
Okay.
So I do plan to.
I'd like to
Yeah.
read that
Me
when you
too.
get that done.
Me
Yeah.
too.
Completed. Thank
I
you.
like that.
Yeah.
By the end of this year,
Okay.
I will be self-publishing.
Mhm.
But wait a
Okay.
minute, that was the plan until I got a new job.
Okay.
wow.
Wait a minute.
CBS actually has a publishing.
All right.
That's awesome.
That's
Yes,
right.
yes.
Man,
So who knows? Maybe
Do it.
CBS will publish my book.
All
Maybe they
right.
will.
That's right. Put it
All right.
out
That's right.
there.
Put it out there.
Yes.
See, tune in.
Yeah,
Mimi Fox,
that
Finding
is great.
50.
Okay.
So y'all heard it. Y'all be looking out for Mimi Fox.
Yeah.
And you can get
Right.
updates.
She's on the rise.
I'll be doing updates on my Facebook page
Okay.
Okay.
and inserts from pieces that I write about
Okay.
starting next month.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Well, good. Good.
That's
All right.
awesome.
And we look forward to having Mimi back on.
Oh yeah.
The J
Keep
Talk
up with this
Relationship
book
Show.
too.
Yes.
All right. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna give my few words, and then enough is gonna be enough for me. All right. But anyway, as all the people on the cast, Miss Debbie, Ricky Rick, Miss Mimi. All right. The one thing I want to leave with audience is this, and we've heard many statements from everybody on the cast and panel today, and very, very, very positive, very, very directive statements that we've heard. But in this, remember this. We find ourselves not finding that point, even if we set boundaries and we set limitations. And even if you come to find who and know yourself to be who you are really defined as, there's one missing thing to the puzzle that activates everything, and that's when we don't tell ourselves what we really see. You can see a whole lot. You can have a whole lot of boundaries. You can write it down on paper, but if you deceive yourself by making any excuses or saying, "Well, it's not really like that," or you see it and you say, "Well, it was just like that this time. That something happened. They were in a bad mood," and sometimes people do get in bad moods. Okay. But listen to this, and Ricky Rick touched on it, but listen to this as an example. Someone has a bad sleep. They don't sleep much during the night. They wake up or they get up, and they're cranky, they're complaining, they're getting on your nerves, they're argumentative, they just bugging you and everything, and then they turn around and they say, I didn't sleep well, so excuse me. All right? All right.
Yeah.
Now, many times what we would do is we would share and look at them and say, well, okay, I know you. Even though you got these boundaries, right? You don't want nobody to be aggravating and just be like that. But they use this excuse based upon that. All right, but watch this. When a person has acknowledged the actions that they are doing, what they're actually saying without saying it to you is that they know that they're doing it.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right? It wasn't something that they are unconsciously, like they're talking in their sleep. They are acknowledging when they say, well, you need to excuse me because I didn't have my sleep. What they're really saying, I know I'm getting on your nerves. I'm trying because I want to get on your nerves, but I'm gonna use sleep as an excuse for you to accept that for me. So I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Yes.
When we don't tell ourselves the truth, because a very realistic, aware person would say, no. You got on my nerve because that's what you chose to do. That was a choice. You didn't have to get up just because you had a bad sleep. Because the real truth is, for it to be excusable, anybody who has a bad sleep would be like that. And everybody's not like that because they have a bad sleep. So you have to be realistic. So if you're not realistic, and if you don't tell yourself the truth, you then deceive yourself, and when you deceive yourself, then what you do is procrastinate and recognize that your enough is not at the point where it's enough until you finally wake up and you finally say, enough is just enough.
That's well said.
All right.
Well said.
That's
All
well
right.
said. Yeah.
All right. So we here on the J Talk Stage Show. We appreciate you listening in, joining us with the whole cast, and we out, y'all.
All right, everybody. Bye bye.
J Talk.